When Taylor builds any new shape, any new style, any new option, we always build it with what we call the gold standard. Okay? It's going to be a western cedar top with mahogany back and sides. This is the zero plane for us. This is where we make everything happen, whether it needs to get bolder, brighter, softer, bigger, etc. Now, the reason being we call it the gold standard is because if you have bass on one side and you have treble on the other, okay, the mahogany cedar combination is going to reside right in the middle. So it's very equal to human voices, other acoustic instrumentation, or the combination thereof. So it's going to be what you see is what you get kind of a mentality. Okay? There she is. Now, I'm not looking for a response. I just want you to lock that sound away right between the ears. Okay? Talking about sound is like talking about love. It's really hard to do. Okay, we're going to force it out of you. Now, as we move across these tone woods combinations, you're going to compare everything to the gold standard. And you're going to see how things are going to move. Brighter, warmer, stickier. Start pulling out cool words. Anybody in the house own a 600 series Taylor? 614, 610, GC6. Okay. Now, a 600 series has been one of the most popular combinations we've ever sold. Okay. Spruce top, Sitka spruce. Anybody know where Sitka spruce comes from? Nobody knows? Mike knows. Sitka, Alaska. It's an island. Sitka trees growing all over the place. Huge, 200-year-old growth. On the back and sides is going to be big leaf maple. Okay, unfortunately maple doesn't grow this color. We stained it. This is tobacco sunburst. Okay, and maple will come in this either flamed maple, where it has the stripes, or quilted maple, which we have a couple of pieces on stage. It looks bubbly. Okay, maple is very wonderful for some serious certain applications. First, it's fantastic for women. Okay, women's vocal cords tighter than men's. Okay, so their EQ response is a little bit higher than men's. You're never going to see Tom Waits playing maple. Okay, it's not gonna happen. The other thing that maple is great for is that it doesn't bear a lot of overtone. So what you hear is what you get, especially on tape. So if you're in a recording situation and you want very true fidelity, it's going to be very good for that application. Okay. The other thing that it's good for is if you're in a loud rocking band situation. You've got singers, you've got drums, electric guitar, other instrumentation, a lot of vocalists going. Maple has that no nuance form, so it sits right out in front of the mix. You don't have to turn up the volume a ton to be heard, because it's going to kind of command its own little sonic space. The other thing you're going to notice is it has a lot of pick noise. We call that a tack. It's going to be right up in your face, nice and bright. Clap your hands if you like the first one better. Clap your hands if you like the sound of the second one better. Ooh.
So like Mike said, what's interesting about that is that Bob builds with mahogany, right? He just mentioned it because it's kind of has a flat frequency response. And he knows when he gets a guitar that sounds good, with a shape that sounds good with mahogany, then the other wood combinations are going to kind of take care of themselves. Like you said, that maple is kind of a brighter sounding guitar. It has a lot of strong fundamentals in the lower notes, but they decay more rapidly, so it ends up sounding a little brighter. That's why it's so good in band situations.
Now, before we move on into the 7 and the 800 series, there's some similarities and there's some differences, but it really causes us to pause for reflection. You have to realize that 90% of what you're listening to is this top, okay? That's what's making sound. The hole is there just to let air pass. So as that top is woofing up and down, the hole is letting the air escape, which gives that top that excitability and that sustain, okay? So as you change the top, you are going to manipulate the sound of the guitar. So the first guitar you've heard, and the guitar you're about to hear, have the cedar tops on. Cedar's soft, it's vibrant, it doesn't need a ton of energy to get it going. A lot of nylon guys will find that as their top. Fingerstyle players love it because they can give it a little bit of excitement to get a lot of volume. Okay? Crispy on the high end and on the low end. On the 600 series that you heard, and on the 800 series that you will hear, those are the Sitka spruce tops. Sitka's denser. It needs a little bit more oomph to get that full machine running. Okay? In the middle is where you get the chance to delve into all these other specialty tops like Koa, Walnut, Adirondack, Engelmann. The list will go on, and they just have a different variance on the overall amount of output and the frequencies that they give off. What's going to happen now is you're going to go back to the cedar top that you've heard and that you enjoyed, but we're going to pair it with Indian Rosewood. Everybody loves Indian Rosewood out there, okay? Because Indian Rosewood is the most rich, full body. It's like coffee. It's the nice, bold, rich, full body coffee, okay? Remember our bass and our treble? We had mahogany in the middle. What I didn't show you was that maple slides up towards the high end of that scale. When you have rosewood, it now kind of cups the low end, and it brings you into a full spectrum, okay? So you're going to hear that nice top end sizzle, but you're going to also get that nice low end kick in the pants. Now the good news is that we're keeping the body shapes identical. Okay, so I'm demoing these on all GSs. I just want you to experience just the biggest impact possible, especially in this room. Any questions before we continue on? Yeah, right over here.
How does the finish affect the tone?
Question was, how does the finish affect the tone? I got asked that earlier. The finish is very simple. It's very different than everybody else. Okay, we use a polyurethane spray. The satin guitars, on anything 400 series and down, it has the low gloss to it, gets a couple of coats, we air dry it, we buff it out, it looks great. With the glossy guitars, they get 3 or 4 more coats of the polyurethane, we cook them in the UV, and then we buff them out to a high sheen. The deal with our finish is that it's very porous, it breathes nicely, it doesn't check, it's not subjective to atmospheric change, so we can ship anywhere in the world, even into sub-zero temperatures. But it is not going to alter the tone of the guitar. Comparative to something with nitro on it, nitrocellulose, say a Gibson or a Martin, those are all familiar names, I own those too, it's cool. It's a thicker, hardier varnish. It commands a little bit more weight than ours does. So if you were to play them comparatively, they might have a little bit different timbre to them, but across the Taylor line, it's not going to impede any of the sound that you should